Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Ames Police Department. My guest today is Saadiq, who is the Community Resource Officer for the City of Ames. Nye, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, this Community Resource Officer is a new position for you, but you've been a police officer for several years. Tell me about what you went through to make the decision to go into police work and your new job.
Okay, I attended Iowa State University, and my junior year I switched my major to criminal justice, and I became a community safety officer with the department, which is the parking division. Working in that position, I got to see an in-depth, more personal look at what police officers do and also gain a personal relationship with a lot of the officers, which inspired me to become a police officer.
The community safety officer role is something that we actually hire a lot of Iowa State students to get involved in. A lot of them are criminal justice majors. You weren't at that time, were you?
I had just switched over to criminal justice, but I was an animal science major, you're right, and that was a big transition, but I had spoken with the chief prior to applying to the position. He's the one that actually told me about the position, and when I found out a lot of the things they did, aside from parking, like prisoner transports and helping with traffic control and working minor traffic accidents, I thought it'd be really cool. And once I learned about the police department and their philosophy of community policing, that's what inspired me to be a police officer. And I applied after I became a CSO in July 2008, and I applied to be a patrol officer December 2008.
So you did switch your major and ended up with a degree then in criminal justice?
Yes.
Okay. And had been in animal science before that?
Yes.
So kind of a real change there, a change of course.
Very, very.
And what do you think appeals to you about police work?
What appeals to me about police work, specifically with just my experience with Ames, is being able to be in touch with the community. When I started to learn about criminology and the shifts and theories, as far as they were mostly crime prevention, and then now they've adapted the community policing theory, I was very interested in becoming involved as a police officer to change the vision of what a police officer is supposed to be and make it more positive, so show more positive interactions with the community versus the negative side of just arresting people. So
a lot of the education and the proactive activities before the enforcement part comes in there.
Yes.
And so you've been an officer for a couple of years now,
yes.
And recently this opportunity came up to become a community resource officer.
Yes. And the main reason that I wanted to be a patrol officer is with the hopes of one day getting this job as a community resource officer. And I think it's excellent. In this position, I'm allowed to really get into the community and have a personal relationship with members of businesses, neighborhood associations, the student body, and kind of have that conjoint relationship where we can both work on problem solving to create more peaceful neighborhoods.
There are just a couple of positions like this on the Ames Police Department. This is somewhat unique. We have the school resource officer, and that officer works specifically with the school district?
Yes. Officer Brooke McPherson works primarily in the schools and with juvenile incidents that might happen in the school. So you can see her at the high school or the middle school and frequents throughout all the elementary schools.
So she, again, focusing on the young kids and building those positive relationships, a lot of what you're doing. And then we also have the Safe Neighborhoods team.
Yes. And the Safe Neighborhoods team is a new team that was put together not too long ago, and it's comprised of a sergeant and 4 officers. These officers typically work from Wednesday through Saturday from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m., and they're more so concentrated in the hotspot areas, so be it Campus Town, Main Street District, and with them, that team also does alcohol talks. They go to the sororities and give safety talks, and they also work a lot with the bar district owners as far as giving informational speeches about IDs and just issues that they see going on in those hotspot areas.
So a lot of these roles as police officers are very proactive, getting information out in advance, sort of to head off any potential issues.
Yes, yes. And if they also concentrate, say, recently there was a large number of bike thefts that were going going on. So the Safe Neighborhoods team put together a plan to kind of combat the bike thefts by not only giving informational speeches, but also doing different types of activities that might combat bike theft. As far as focusing in areas where there's a lot of thefts, they might do foot patrol more so in that area, things like that.
And I know you've been involved in a lot of different initiatives. There was a safety walk recently.
The safety walk was put together by the city, and myself and Brian from the city manager's office got involved, and we got some neighborhood associations, some student body to come out and just do a safety walk around the campus town area to identify problems such as burnt out street lamps, overgrown bushes, tree limbs, and also just those quality of life issues.
So you're basically kind of taking an assessment as you walk around, noticing things that may be of a concern that you can be addressed later.
Yep, and that information was comprised, and then we sent it out to the proper departments to get those issues fixed. So
now, a safety walk would be something that really any neighborhood could do. And do you assist them with that?
Yes, if they would like to put together a safety walk, I can come out and we'll assist. We'll provide the flashlights, the clipboards, and also the spreadsheet so we can get the information that's documented off to the proper officials.
So do they ask you, is it sort of a form that asks you to look for certain things, or are you just sort of taking notes?
Yep, just taking notes on what you see. We'll let them know what we're looking for as far as to get fixed, and then they just take notes and note the area and the issue, and then we can get it taken care of.
Some other things you've been doing recently, I know you were at the Neighborhood Summit, which is sort of an annual meeting with the City Council and the neighborhood associations. What else have you been keeping busy with?
We just recently did Carving with Cops, which was at the Boys and Girls Club, where there was, I think, either between 50 or 60 kids. There's a bunch of pumpkins, and we helped the kids carve the pumpkins, and that was a good chance to interact with kids and for kids to have a positive interaction with the police department. Also, along with that, we have done CPA, just finished up, which you were a part of.
I was a part of that
as well, and that is
the Citizens Police Academy.
Citizens Police Academy, and that is also a great way to get members from the community, business owners involved in seeing what the police do on a more intimate level and just learning about all the divisions.
That was real life scenarios. You got to sort of do play acting. It was pretty eye-opening.
Yes, it was good.
And that's an annual event.
Yes, we do that twice a year, actually, and it's an 8-week program every Thursday for a 3-hour block of time, and we're going to be starting our next session in February.
Okay, so it's sort of a fall and then early spring. Early spring.
Yep.
Excellent. Wow, sounds like you've got lots on your plate. You've only been in the job a couple of months?
Actually, just since September, late September. So
still sort of getting your feet wet and figuring out what to do. Obviously, if people need to contact you, we can get that information up on the screen, and you're obviously looking for ways to interact with the community.
Definitely, and if they have any issues that are going on, I like to be made aware of it, and I serve as that liaison between patrol and the community. So whatever issues they have, we like to combat them before they, get out of hand or out of control. And
so the position, community resource officer, is not one that you keep to stay in forever. It's a rotating shift?
Yes, the position is a 3-year position, and it's one of our specialty positions. Trends have shown that officers have been in this position have either been promoted to sergeant or, they go back to patrol, and we use the skills that we've gained in this position to maintain the relationships with the community.
Well, so it's just a great opportunity for you to sort of hit the ground running and get out there.
Definitely.
Well, Nye, thanks for stopping by. It's always great to hear what's going on at the Ames Police Department, which is always extremely interesting and very busy.
Thank you.
Well, as we get into the month of November, don't forget Yard Waste Free Days will be held every Saturday in November from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can take your yard waste to 407 Friel. Remember, only on Saturday, November 17th can you bring your brush and branches. Also remember, on Monday, November 12th, City Hall and most city offices will be closed for Veterans Day, but will be open back up on Tuesday, November 13th. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.